We have breaking news. The U.S. government wants to make credit repair illegal. Yeah, you heard me right. The U.S. government is working to put serious regulation on credit repair companies. A massive judgment has hit the credit repair industry, devastating the entire industry. A lot of credit repair companies won't talk to you about this because they're scared of it. They don't want to talk about it, and they don't want consumers to know what's happening behind closed doors in the credit repair industry. We have a lot of ground to cover with this massive case and this huge judgment that just happened. Well, kind of just happened. It happened last month, but everyone's been keeping on lock and key because they don't want the public to hear about it. But I'm going to tell you all the details about this massive case and the massive changes that are on the cusp for credit repair organizations. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike the Credit Guy, and I created the most advanced DIY credit management system in the industry. Our system allows you to take control of your credit, creating custom metro to attack letters every single round, never using templates, for only $55.99 a month. Link is always going to be in the description, and let's get into this video. Two of the largest credit repair companies in the credit repair industry have been taken down by the CFPB and the FTC. Now, this case has been looming for close to over 2 years now that the government has been going after these two companies. Now, we're talking about Lexington Law and Creditrepair.com. For years, we didn't talk about these companies because they are massive, monstrous companies that will most likely come after small peas like me, okay? So we didn't really talk about these companies because we didn't want to get hit with any type of slander. But now, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The gloves are off, okay? These two companies have been wrangled in by the CFPB, and they have slapped them with a $3.1 billion fine. That's right, I didn't say million, I didn't say thousands, I said $3.1 billion fine. So the crazy part about this is there's a company called Progression, okay, or Progression or something, the way it's written. You'll see it on the screen here. They are the owners of Lexington Law, Creditrepair.com, and Credit.com. So all of these companies are basically the same company, okay, marketed completely different, dominating the credit repair industry. Now, one of the biggest claims that they had was they were convincing consumers to lie on letters, and send out frivolous letters disputing things that didn't need to be disputed, sending out and flooding the credit reporting agencies and debt collectors with these credit repair letters that were frivolous. Now listen, debt collectors are gonna make this out to seem like credit repair companies are the real scammers. It's pretty crazy. I've read so many different articles about this from different perspectives. But at the end of the day, Lexington Law was always operating in a very dangerous manner. There's something called the TSR. It's the telecommunications sales rule. This is a major game changer and a major business killer for any business that picks up a phone and calls somebody to do business with them. It just sounds crazy. The TSR rule, telecommunications sales rule, okay? Everyone says, well, I'm not a telemarketer. That's what a lot of businesses think. But the moment you pick up that phone and you make a call across state lines, you are in fact involved in TSR, and it does apply to you. So what happens is people set up consultations all across the United States with credit repair organizations. The moment they pick up the phone and they call that person, or even if you receive a call from some type of marketing or ad, whatever it may be, then it does apply to you. Now, the crazy part is you have to, as a business, disclose all of the information about the products you are trying to sell and the services, and the person must sign that agreement or contract before you can even talk to them about products. They must become a client. This is the only way to get around the TSR sales rule. And the problem is the majority of credit repair companies can't afford to do that, because how are you going to get someone to sign an agreement before you even talk to them? They can't stomach the fact that they cannot talk to people on the phone. As a credit repair company, you are in fact violating TSR the moment you do not do this. If you haven't already, you need to smash that like button. And don't forget, last part's the most important. In my personal opinion, I believe that the TSR rule is called the business killer, because it doesn't matter what type of business you have. If you're not abiding by the TSR rule, even as a small business, you can be shut down by the FTC. This was designed by the FTC, so they can go after any type of business. But this was a prime example of how the CFPB and the FTC teamed up to go after these massive credit repair companies, because they are looking to put massive, seriously clear regulations on credit repair. So all these credit repair companies out there that are taking all these phone calls, doing phone consultations left and right, they're all violating the laws, and the CFPB is not playing anymore. They're gonna go after everybody in the industry, and the entire industry is shook, and nobody wants to talk about it because there's nobody out there that is actually TSR compliant. Well, except for me, of course. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I bet that there is less than 1% of credit repair organizations that are TSR compliant. I only know of one other person, and that's Just Jay Woodfin, because he's a good friend of mine, and I know for a fact that he is also TSR compliant, because we work to become legitimate and legitimize this specific industry, because we all know it's riddled by scammers and crazy products and crazy promises of this and that. Like, it's insane, okay? So what's important to think about is, imagine this: how is any business going to be able to sell a product, a service, or a program if they can't talk to you on the phone? And the biggest part about this is, how are consumers going to feel when they don't understand you can't talk to somebody? It's against the law. You have to sign the agreement, but the agreement doesn't make you bound to any terms and conditions, and you're not paying for anything unless you put your credit card information in there, right? So you're not actually bound to this agreement. You just have to become a client before you can move forward and talk about services or products or any of that. It's gonna be really hard for any consumer to stomach that, because it's that phone consultation, that phone conversation that gives you the connection with that company or that person and makes you want to sign up for their services. Now, even crazier is, imagine you get to see a full agreement for credit repair services. So it gives you a better understanding of what they actually are offering you before you even talk to them. And this is a problem that a lot of these credit repair organizations don't understand. They don't want people to really get a really good reading of that product and that agreement. So they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna send that to them. They're not gonna do it. You know, why would I do that? You're not even giving yourself a chance to become regulatory and actually abide by these laws. What do you have to hide? Are you scared of something? You don't want people to see something in your agreement? Your agreement should be pretty cut and dry, and you shouldn't be charging for services until services have been rendered. That was one of the biggest things that they got caught by. They were charging people $15 fees up front. Like, was it really worth it to you, Lexington Law, to lose your business for $15 up front? That is insane to me, okay? Our system is built that we cannot charge anybody until their letters are created, their entire profile has been vetted, their documents have been verified. All this stuff has to be done, and then the letters are created, and then once those letters are created, they're packaged and they're mailed, then the card on file gets charged. Imagine that. You don't charge for services up front. It's not that hard to do, people, but a lot of companies just can't even abide by that other simple rule. So I'm gonna answer a very looming question that you're probably thinking in your brain. Yo, what's gonna happen with that $3.1 billion, Mike? Is that really gonna go back to consumers? I've saw some videos on TikTok where people are like, oh man, they got him, Lexington Laws got caught. You know, they're gonna have to pay all these people this money back. So if you were ever a client by them, reach out and find out when it's gonna happen, when the money's gonna come out. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, ladies and gentlemen. There's two things that happen when the CFPB comes after that type of money. I'm willing to bet, okay, and I'm not a gambling man, just so you know, I'm willing to bet that that money's gonna go right to the CFPB. There was a massive multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Portfolio Recoveries, and it has been months, okay, since the case has been judged and the fine was hit, and the money's supposed to go into what's called the Victims Fund. Well, guess what? That fund has not even shown up yet. It's been, I think, almost 3 months now. Where's the money? Well, it's most likely gonna go back into funding the CFPB so they can go after more companies. So you think that this $3.1 billion is gonna go straight to the CFPB. Now, it doesn't work like that in business, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. A big company like Lexington Law was going to appeal this. They lost the appeal, and what would you think they did? They did what any other business would do in this situation. They filed bankruptcy. So I don't think that there's going to be any repercussions for this situation, because they're stating, okay, that because of this judgment, they had to restructure their entire business. They had to stop the billing processes that they had already violated, of course, and they had to lay off a lot of their employees. So they're asking to do pretty much like if a consumer were to do Chapter 13, they would have to continue to make payments, but reduce interest and stuff like that to negotiate those types of payments with their actual lenders and the companies that they work for supplies and different things like that. But they're doing this in order to keep some of their staff on to keep the business going. Now, there has been some reports, I cannot confirm yet, I'm still trying to hunt it down, that they are seeking lending, you know, in the form of loans to continue to help the business because, of course, they're having to file the bankruptcy situation. So this is a very growing story, but I want you to understand what's going on because a lot of people are talking about it, but they're really not diving into what really happened and what the true violations are that a lot of other credit repair companies, unfortunately, are going to fall victim to. This is still a growing story. We don't know exactly what the bankruptcy judge is going to say about this entire case, and then what the judge in Utah, because that's where it was tried, what the judge in Utah is going to say about this entire situation. So this is a growing story. It's going to have super high impact on the credit repair industry. Everybody's shook. Nobody wants to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because it's very important information that consumers need to have and know about. If there's anything else specific you want me to talk about credit repair, drop it in the comment section, okay? Because we like to open up this discussion. I'm here to help you, all of our subscribers, because without you, it can't be done, okay? So thank you for watching as usual. And please don't forget, make sure to watch the next 2 videos because they are recommended by YouTube. And always, never forget, subscribe to increase your credit score.